प्रॉब्लम है हिसाब भेजने में। अब वो तो मैं अच्छे से नहीं कर सकता साहब, बंगाल ने ही करना पड़ेगा। अकाउंट देना पड़ता है तो सरकार है, कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नहीं है ना। सरकार के कुछ रूल्स होते हैं, रेगुलेशन होते हैं, अकाउंटिंग सिस्टम होती है, एजी का ऑडिट होता है। हम किसी को नहीं मानेंगे तो थोड़ी तकलीफ आएगी, मगर धीरे धीरे आदत पड़ रही है, इंप्रूवमेंट आया है। इसीलिए 6244 में से 4619 करोड़ रुपया इनका रिलीज हो चुका है। और मैं फिर से कहना चाहता हूं मान्यवर, अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम दी गई थी, इसीलिए 23 तारीख को हमने एनडीआरएफ की 9 बटालियन वहां पर, एक सेकंड, 9 बटालियन वहां पर हमने भेज दी थी और 3 कल रवाना करी है। एनडीआरएफ की बटालियन उतरने से भी अलर्ट अगर हो जाते तो काफी कुछ बच जाता, मगर मैं किसी पे दोषारोपण नहीं करना चाहता हूं। ये समय है केरल की सरकार के साथ खड़ा रहने का, केरल की जनता के साथ खड़ा रहने का, और जो लोगों की हानि हुई उनके साथ खड़ा रहने का। मैं सदन को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं, इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ पार्टी पॉलिटिक्स, नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार केरल की जनता और केरल की सरकार दोनों के साथ चट्टान की तरह खड़ी रहेगी, किसी को संशय रखने की जरूरत नहीं।
Honorable Minister of State in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Shri Nityanand Rai, may now reply.
केरल राज्य के वायनाड जिले में, जैसा कि मैंने कल सदन में अपने बयान को बताया था कि कल सुबह की शुरुआती घंटों में भूस्खलन की एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना घटी। घटना की जानकारी जैसे ही माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को और माननीय गृह मंत्री जी को प्राप्त हुई, उसी समय से, सुबह के समय से सब लोग तत्परता के साथ माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और माननीय गृह मंत्री जी राज्य सरकारों से संपर्क कर केंद्र जितनी सहायता कर सकता था उस सारे सहायताओं में जुट गई। और दुख के साथ कहना पड़ रहा है कि जो नवीनतम जानकारी है अब तक, उसमें राहत कर्मियों के द्वारा 133 को निकाल दिया गया है। सर, मृत्यु की यह संख्या बढ़ सकती है। यह जो उपलब्ध राज्य सरकार से कराया जाता है उसके आधार पर ही हम लोग आंकड़ा देते हैं। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी स्थिति पर लगातार नजर रखे हुए हैं। उनके आदेश से जॉर्ज कुरियन राज्य मंत्री जी स्थिति का जायजा लेने के लिए कल रात ही प्रभावित क्षेत्र में पहुंच गए हैं, और जो परिस्थिति थी उसमें पहुंचना दुर्लभ लग रहा था, फिर भी पहुंचे और लगातार उन्होंने माननीय गृह मंत्री से संपर्क कर वहां की स्थितियों को जानकारी देते रहे। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी भी उनसे अपडेट लेते रहे। माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने कल ही केरल के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी से भी बात की। प्रधानमंत्री जी भी, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी भी किए। उन्हें आश्वासन दिया गया कि भारत सरकार से हर प्रकार की सहायता प्रदान की जाएगी और की जा रही भी है। घटना के तुरंत एनडीआरएफ, वायुसेना, भारतीय सेना, नौसेना और तट रक्षक बल की टीमें खोज और बचाव अभियान में वहां जुट गई और लगातार तत्परता से वहां काम कर रही है। 3 बेली पुलों के निर्माण के लिए सेना के मद्रास इंजीनियरिंग ग्रुप के कॉलम तैनात किए गए हैं। एनडीआरएफ की 4 टीम, सेना के 4 कॉलम, नौसेना के 1 टीम, तट रक्षक बल की 3 यूनिट, राज्य सरकार के अग्निशमन सेवाओं, नागरिक सुरक्षा, पुलिस और स्थानीय इमरजेंसी रिस्पांस टीम के लगभग 1200 बचाव कर्मी बचाव और राहत अभियान में 24 घंटे कार्य कर रहे हैं। खोज और बचाव अभियान के लिए डॉग स्क्वाड को भी वहां तैनात किया गया है। सेना की डीसी सेंटर कन्नूर की 2 टुकड़ियां भी वहां तैनात की गई है। त्रिवेंद्रम की 91 इन्फेंट्री ब्रिगेड की 2 टुकड़ियां को रवाना कर दिया गया है। भारतीय सेना के 2 हेलीकॉप्टर और नौसेना के 1 हेलीकॉप्टर बचाव कार्य में विशेष रूप से लगे हैं। सेना की मेडिकल टीमें घायलों को चिकित्सा प्रदान कर रही है। भारतीय नौसेना के जहाज INS जमोरिन को क्षतिग्रस्त पुल के दूसरी ओर बचाव श्रमिकों की भूमि मार्ग से वह जा सके, इसके लिए वहां स्थापित करने के लिए सहायता प्रदान करने के लिए तैनात कर दिया गया है। आवश्यकता के आधार पर अतिरिक्त संसाधन भेजे जा रहे हैं। उच्चतम स्तर पर केंद्र सरकार द्वारा स्थिति की निगरानी की जा रही है। गृह मंत्रालय के दोनों नियंत्रण कक्ष, जो NDRF का आपदा प्रबंधन का है और गृह मंत्रालय का है, दोनों गृह मंत्रालय का ही है, 24/7 स्थिति की निगरानी कर रहे हैं और राज्य को हर संभव मदद प्रदान की जा रही है। आज ही स्टेट डिजास्टर रिस्पांस फंड से 145 करोड़ की राशि राज्य सरकार को वहां प्रदान कराई गई है। महोदय, वहां पहले ही SDRF के तहत जो वहाँ बैलेंस राशि है 394 करोड़ की, और सारे विषयों पर माननीय गृह मंत्री जी बहुत स्पष्ट रूप से कहे हैं। लेकिन महोदय, मैं एक चीज कहना चाहूंगा कि पहले सुपर साइक्लोन आया था, उसमें 10,000 लोगों की मौत हुई और आज हम 0 मौत पर पहुंच गए। यह प्रधानमंत्री जी के प्रेरणा नेतृत्व में डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के लिए किया जा रहा काम, तकनीकी का उपयोग, अधिक आपदा प्रबंधन में दिए जा रहे राशि और माननीय गृह मंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में विभिन्न प्रकार के पहलुओं पर जो काम हो रहा है, पर्यावरण की बात हुई, गृह मंत्रालय ने भी और भारत सरकार के बहुत सारे लोगों ने, और भारत सरकार के प्रेरणा में भी बहुत सारी संस्थाओं ने पेड़ लगाने का काम किया है और रिकॉर्ड पेड़ पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स ने भी माननीय गृह मंत्री के मार्गदर्शन में लगाया है। तकनीक का उपयोग सर बिल्कुल किया जा रहा है। अब भारत का आपदा प्रबंधन ऐसा है जिस पर देश के साथ साथ विदेशों को भी भरोसा है। कई देशों के आपदा के समय, चाहे वह भूकंप का हो या अन्य आपदा हो, उस समय भी भारत बढ़ चढ़कर उनके सहयोग के लिए आगे गया है। कई उदाहरण इसके सर यहाँ है। तो मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा कि लगातार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी तत्परता के साथ निगरानी रख रहे हैं। गृह मंत्री जी, मैं कह रहा हूं कि लगातार दिन रात, कहने में भी अतिशयोक्ति नहीं होगी, दिन रात लगकर, और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में माननीय गृह मंत्री जी लगातार राज्यों को सहयोग भी कर रहे हैं, बचाव और राहत कार्यों की निगरानी भी कर रहे हैं। जैसे जैसे आवश्यकता होती है वैसे वैसे केंद्र सरकार सहायता राज्य को पहुंचा रही है।
स्पेशल मेंशन श्री संजय सेठ।
धन्यवाद सर। सर, मेरा सब्जेक्ट है डिमांड टू डिक्लेयर एक्सट्रीम हीट एज नेचुरल डिजास्टर। भारत में इस वर्ष भीषण गर्मी के सबसे लंबा दौर रिकॉर्ड किया गया है और देश में 536 हीट वेव डेज रहे हैं, जो सालों में सबसे ज्यादा हैं। इस वर्ष भारत में भीषण गर्मी के कारण 100 से अधिक लोगों की मृत्यु हुई है और हीट स्ट्रोक के 40,000 से ज्यादा संदिग्ध मामले रिपोर्ट किए गए हैं, जो एक चिंताजनक आंकड़ा है। भीषण गर्मी के कारण हो रहे नुकसान का संज्ञान संयुक्त राष्ट्र ने भी लिया है और इसे महामारी के रूप में भी बताया है, जिसके कारण पूरे विश्व में हर वर्ष 5 लाख से अधिक लोगों की मृत्यु हो रही है, जो बाढ़ और तूफान जैसे प्राकृतिक आपदा से होने वाली मृत्यु से भी ज्यादा है। संयुक्त राष्ट्र के महासचिव ने भी सभी देशों के इसके प्रति जागरूक होकर कार्य करने का निवेदन किया है। RBI के अनुसार ग्लोबल वार्मिंग और भीषण गर्मी के कारण देश की GDP को 2.8% का नुकसान होने का अनुमान है। भारत में प्राकृतिक आपदाओं के नियंत्रण के लिए डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट है, लेकिन इस कानून के अंतर्गत अभी तक भीषण गर्मी या हीट वेव को नेचुरल डिजास्टर नहीं घोषित किया गया है। मेरा सरकार से निवेदन है कि भीषण गर्मी के बढ़ते मामलों को देखते हुए इसे नेचुरल डिजास्टर घोषित किया जाए, जिससे सरकार भीषण गर्मी से हो रही क्षति के प्रबंधन में और बेहतर ढंग से कार्य कर सके।
धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर सुकुमार मित्तल। डॉक्टर सुकुमार मित्तल।
धन्यवाद महोदय। आयुष्मान भारत योजना के संदर्भ में स्वास्थ्य के क्षेत्र में सरकार द्वारा आयुष्मान भारत योजना के माध्यम से बनाई गई एक महत्वपूर्ण योजना है। आयुष्मान भारत योजना, जिसके अंतर्गत अभी तक 55 करोड़ नागरिक और 14 करोड़ परिवारों को 5 लाख तक का स्वास्थ्य बीमा दिया गया है। इस योजना के माध्यम से गरीबी रेखा के नीचे वाले परिवारों को बीमा की सुविधा दी जाती है। हमारे देश में कैंसर केसेस की बढ़ोतरी हो रही है और यह अनुमान है कि 2025 तक हर वर्ष भारत में 16 लाख कैंसर केसेस होंगे। इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में ये कहा गया है कि इंडियाज आउट ऑफ पॉकेट एक्सपेंसेस ऑन हेल्थ केयर इज ओवर 50% ऑफ द टोटल हेल्थ एक्सपेंडिचर, जो कि एक चिंता का विषय है, क्योंकि कैंसर हो, हार्ट डिसीज हो, रोड एक्सीडेंट्स हो, लाइफस्टाइल डिसीजेज हो, इन सभी के उपचार का खर्चा बहुत ज्यादा है, जो 5 लाख की राशि में नहीं हो सकता। आज की महंगाई और कॉस्ट ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट को देखते हुए ये अत्यंत जरूरी है कि वन साइज फिट ऑल अप्रोच को बदला जाए। इसके साथ साथ हमारे देश के जो बुजुर्ग या वरिष्ठ नागरिक वर्ग है, उन्हें आज भी किसी प्रकार का बीमा या सोशल सिक्योरिटी नहीं दी जाती है। बीमा कंपनियां भी वरिष्ठ नागरिकों को बीमा देने से मना कर देती है। मेरा मंत्री जी से निवेदन है कि सरकार सबसे पहले आयुष्मान भारत में दिए जाने वाले बीमा को डिसीज स्पेसिफिक करे और बीमा की राशि को बढ़ाए। इसके अतिरिक्त वरिष्ठ नागरिकों को भी आयुष्मान भारत के अंतर्गत शामिल करके उन्हें भी सोशल सिक्योरिटी नेट के अंतर्गत लाया जाए। धन्यवाद महोदय।
थैंक यू। डॉक्टर सस्मित पात्रा जी।
Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, my special mention subject is inclusion of ahimsa, non-violence in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. I rise to seek the inclusion of ahimsa, non-violence, in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. Former Honorable CM of Odisha, in May 2018, during the first meeting of the National Committee for 150th birth anniversary celebrations of Mahatma Gandhi, had requested for inclusion of ahimsa in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. He had again, in December 2019, reiterated this demand in second meeting of the National Committee for Celebrations of 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. On 23rd March 2021, Odisha Vidhan Sabha passed a unanimous resolution for inclusion of ahimsa in preamble of Indian Constitution. The Odisha Assembly also had a 3-hour special discussion on same day on Gandhiji's visit to Odisha exactly 100 years back on 23rd March 1921. Apart from Honorable CM of Odisha's iteration and Odisha Vidhan Sabha's resolution, signature campaign across the state for inclusion of ahimsa in preamble also took place. On occasion of 75 years of India's independence, Honorable former CM of Odisha also flagged off the Ahimsa Rath, whose sole objective was to spread the Gandhian doctrine of ahimsa non-violence across the cross-sections of the people and commemorating Gandhiji's special relations with Odisha. Placing these initiatives on record, I reiterate the request that the Government of India may kindly initiate steps to ensure that ahimsa non-violence is included in the preamble of the Constitution as requested by former Honorable CM of Odisha and passed through unanimous resolution by Odisha Vidhan Sabha. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Susri Indubala Goswami, demand for establishment of CGS Wellness Center in Kangra, Himachal.
धन्यवाद सभापति जी. My subject is demand for establishment of CGHS Wellness Center in Kangra, हिमाचल प्रदेश. मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय स्वास्थ्य मंत्री जी का ध्यान जिला कांगड़ा हिमाचल प्रदेश में CGHS Wellness सेंटर की आवश्यकता की ओर आकृष्ट करना चाहती हूँ. कांगड़ा, हमीरपुर व चंबा में CGHS के अंतर्गत इलाज कराने वाले लोगों को चंडीगढ़ व शिमला जाना पड़ता है तथा पहाड़ी क्षेत्र होने के कारण आवागमन में बहुत समय लगता है. बच्चों, महिलाओं और बुजुर्ग मरीजों को इलाज के लिए एक अटेंडेंट के साथ रुकने की व्यवस्था करनी पड़ती है, जो खर्चीला भी होता है. कांगड़ा से हमीरपुर 90 किलोमीटर है तथा चंबा 120 किलोमीटर है, इसलिए आमजन एक दिन में ही आना जाना कर सकते हैं. जिला कांगड़ा में लगभग 20 से ज्यादा केंद्रीय सरकार के कार्यालय, धर्मशाला और उसके आसपास के क्षेत्र में हैं, जिनमें लगभग 10,000 से अधिक CGHS का लाभ लेने वाले केंद्रीय कर्मचारी कार्यरत हैं. इसके अलावा आर्मी व अन्य पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स में सेवा दे रहे जवान व उनके परिवार के सदस्य भी रहते हैं, जिनमें बुजुर्गों, महिलाओं और बच्चों की संख्या अधिक है. इन जिलों में लगभग हर घर का एक सदस्य आर्मी या पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स में कार्यरत है, इसलिए CGHS सेंटर की बहुत आवश्यकता है. अतः मेरा माननीय मंत्री जी से अनुरोध है कि कांगड़ा में CGHS वेलनेस सेंटर बनाने के लिए विभाग को निर्देशित करने की कृपा करें. धन्यवाद.
Shri Raghav Chadda.
Thank you, sir, for permitting me to speak on the special mention on a subject that concerns my state. The topic is concern over development works in Punjab. आज मैं पंजाब का प्रतिनिधि होने के नाते मेरे सूबे पंजाब के हकों के लिए बोलने के लिए खड़ा हुआ हूं. पंजाब वो सूबा है जिसने देश के लिए सबसे ज्यादा कुर्बानियां दी. पंजाब ने देश को हरित क्रांति दी और देश के मुश्किल दौर में पेट पाला. देश की आजादी से लेकर आज तक पंजाब और पंजाबियों ने देश के लिए बहुत कुछ किया है. पंजाब भारत का ब्रेड बास्केट कहलाता है और हमारे किसान जिन्होंने अपना सब कुछ देश के नाम कर दिया, आज मैं उस किसान की आवाज बनकर यहां खड़ा हुआ हूं. आज पंजाब की अलग अलग योजनाओं के हजारों करोड़ रुपए जो केंद्र ने हमें देने थे वो रुके हुए हैं. लंबित रूरल डेवलपमेंट फंड का 5600 करोड़, लंबित मंडी डेवलपमेंट फंड का 1100 करोड़, लंबित नेशनल हेल्थ मिशन का 1100 करोड़, लंबित समग्र शिक्षा एजुकेशन का 180 करोड़, स्पेशल असिस्टेंस फॉर कैपिटल क्रिएशन का 1800 करोड़. बार बार हमने ये फंड जारी करने की मांग रखी है. आज मैं एक बार फिर 3 करोड़ पंजाबियों की ओर से केंद्र सरकार से अपील करता हूं कि हमारा फंड हमें जारी किया जाए, जिससे पंजाब में विकास कार्य पूरे हो सके. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद. श्री मुजीबुल्लाह खान.
धन्यवाद. मैं आपके माध्यम से उड़ीसा में स्वास्थ्य सेवा की बुनियादी ढांचों को बढ़ाने से संबंधित एक महत्वपूर्ण पहल लाता हूं. कोरापुट, संबलपुर और बालेश्वर में समर्पित एम्स अस्पतालों की स्थापना की जरूरत है. इस कदम का उद्देश्य राज्य के स्वास्थ्य सेवा प्रणाली का विस्तार और सुधार करना है, ताकि इसे अपने निवासियों के लिए अधिक सुलभ और प्रभावी बनाना जा सकता है. उड़ीसा ने स्वास्थ्य सेवा में उल्लेखनीय प्रगति की है, विशेष रूप से बीजू स्वास्थ्य कल्याण योजना BSKY के माध्यम से, जिसने अपनी उत्कृष्टता के लिए राष्ट्रीय मान्यता प्राप्त की है। BSKY ने पूरे राज्य में व्यापक स्वास्थ्य सेवा कवरेज प्रदान करने और स्वास्थ्य परिणामों में सुधार करने में नए मानक स्थापित किए हैं। राज्य द्वारा संचालित ये पहल समान स्वास्थ्य सेवा वितरण और मजबूत स्वास्थ्य बुनियादी ढांचे के लिए उड़ीसा की दृढ़ प्रतिबद्धता को दर्शाता है। कोरापुट, संबलपुर और बालेश्वर में पूर्व विकसित एम्स सुविधाओं की स्थापना उड़ीसा की स्वास्थ्य सेवा क्षमताओं की बढ़ाने की दिशा में एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम होगा। ये संस्थान विशेष चिकित्सा सेवाएं, उन्नत स्वास्थ्य सुविधाएं और स्वास्थ्य पेशेवरों के लिए प्रशिक्षण प्रदान करें, जिससे इन क्षेत्र में स्वास्थ्य संबंधी जरूरतों को ज्यादा प्रभावी ढंग से पूरा किया जा सकता है। भुवनेश्वर में एम्स की सफलता के देखते हुए इस मॉडल को कोरापुट, संबलपुर और बालेश्वर तक विस्तारित करने से ये सुनिश्चित होगा कि उन्नत चिकित्सा देखभाल के लाभ में पूरे राज्य में समान रूप से विस्तारित किए जाएंगे। मौजूदा स्वास्थ्य सेवा अंतराल को पाटने और स्वास्थ्य बुनियादी ढांचे में समान वृद्धि को बढ़ावा देने के लिए ये विस्तार महत्वपूर्ण है। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। श्रीमती सुमित्रा बाल्मिक।
धन्यवाद उपाध्यक्ष महोदय। आपके माध्यम से सरकार का ध्यान इस ओर दिलाना चाहती हूँ कि वाल्मीकि जी के जीवन में हमें यह प्रेरणा देता है कि कठिन परिस्थितियों में भी अडिग रहकर समाज के कल्याण के लिए कार्य करना चाहिए। वे एक आदर्श उदाहरण हैं। कैसे एक सामान्य व्यक्ति भी अपने कर्मों और ज्ञान से महानता प्राप्त कर सकता है। उनके विचार और शिक्षाएं आज भी प्रासंगिक हैं, विशेषकर जब हम समाज में समानता और न्याय की बात करते हैं। पिछड़े समाज से आने वाले छात्र आज पूरी दुनिया में भारत का नाम रोशन कर रहे हैं। कई सारी विपरीत परिस्थितियों के बावजूद वे पढ़ाई करके उन मुकाम को हासिल कर रहे हैं जो अभी तक नामुमकिन था। इन छात्रों को उत्साहित करने और पढ़ाई के लिए पैसे की कमी को दूर करने मेरा सरकार से अनुरोध है कि प्रति वर्ष कक्षा 5 से कक्षा 12वीं तक के छात्रों के लिए प्राइवेट स्कूलों में 10,000 रुपये प्रति वर्ष की महर्षि वाल्मीकि स्कॉलरशिप शुरू की जाए। साथ ही मेडिकल और इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के एंट्रेंस एग्जाम के लिए ऑनलाइन कोचिंग की व्यवस्था की जाए। इस छात्रवृत्ति के मुख्य उद्देश्य छात्रों के उच्च शिक्षा के माध्यम से सशक्त बनाना और समाज में सकारात्मक परिवर्तन लाना है। हमें विश्वास है कि इस छात्रवृत्ति के माध्यम से अनेक विद्यार्थी महर्षि वाल्मीकि के आदर्शों पर चलते हुए अपने जीवन में सफलता प्राप्त करेंगे और समाज में बेहतर भविष्य की स्थापना करेंगे। मेरा सरकार से अनुरोध है कि इस पर विचार करें। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। श्री मनोज कुमार झा।
शुक्रिया माननीय वाइस चेयरमैन साहब। एक आपदा प्रभावित क्षेत्र से आता हूँ। बिहार में अक्सर साल के कुछ महीनों में कहीं न कहीं आपदा होती है। उसी संदर्भ में ये है नीड फॉर मोर डॉपलर वेदर रडार्स इन बिहार। Vice Chairman sir, I rise today to address a critical issue affecting the state of Bihar, which have borne testament since years on and will bear the same especially as we move on to this monsoon season as well. It is the issue of floods in the state. Despite the Ministry of Finance acknowledging the state's vulnerability to floods in its recent budget speech, there remains an acute shortage of Doppler radar installations in Bihar. Currently, there is only one operational Doppler radar in the entire state, which is grossly insufficient to provide accurate and timely weather forecasts and warnings. Bihar's geographical location allows for rivers like Kosi, Bagmati, and Gandak to flow through it, making it particularly susceptible to severe flooding. As such, 73.63% of the geographical area of North Bihar is considered to be prone to floods. Out of 38 districts, 28 districts get flooded, of which 15 are worst affected, causing huge loss of property, lives, farmlands, and infrastructure. The inadequacy of Doppler radar installations significantly hampers the state's ability to predict and manage flood situations effectively. Accurate weather forecasting is crucial for timely evacuation, disaster preparedness, and reducing the impact of floods on the population. The existing Doppler radar system alone cannot cover the vast and diverse topography of Bihar. This insufficiency leads to delayed and sometimes inaccurate weather predictions, putting millions of lives at risk. Therefore, I urge the government to prioritize the installation of additional Doppler radar system in Bihar. Thank you so much, sir. Jai Hind.
Shri Abdul Wahab, not present. Shri Ghulam Ali.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Demand for inclusion of Gojri language in 8th schedule of the Constitution. As per Article 344 and 351, the 8th schedule was intended to promote the progressive use of Hindi and for the enrichment and promotion of other languages. Initially, 14 languages were added and later in 1967, 1992, there are 22 languages in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. Which is spoken by more than 3% of Indians is not included in 8th schedule, even though spoken across all the northern states of India. This has resulted in deep-seated resentment and discontentment among the Gujars residing in Delhi, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and Jammu Kashmir. Although through various committees, criteria was tried to be fixed for inclusion of the languages in the 8th schedule, but no uniform criteria could be agreed upon. The only one criteria which should prevail in inclusion of a language in 8th schedule should be its widespread use, like the Gojri, which is spoken in almost half of India in the northern states, and even Arab, Europe, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, and such. I demand that Gojri should be included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. Thank you.
Thank you. Srimati Darshana Singh.
धन्यवाद उपसभापति महोदय जी। आपके माध्यम से मैं माननीय उद्योग मंत्री जी का ध्यान आकृष्ट कराना चाहती हूं कि मेरा गृह जनपद चंदौली केंद्र सरकार द्वारा आकांक्षी जिला चिन्हित है, जिसका विकास किया जाना अति आवश्यक है। जनपद चंदौली सड़क एवं रेल दोनों के माध्यम से पूरे देश से जुड़ा हुआ है। अतः अगर चंदौली जिले में एक विशाल सरकारी औद्योगिक पार्क स्थापित किया जाए तो चंदौली के विकास के साथ साथ पूर्वांचल के अन्य जनपदों को भी इसका फायदा मिलेगा। महोदय, चंदौली जनपद में सरकारी औद्योगिक पार्क की स्थापना से चंदौली के आम नागरिकों हेतु रोजगार के सृजन के साथ साथ बहुत सारे उद्योगपतियों को भी फायदा होगा, जो वर्तमान में सरकारी औद्योगिक पार्क उपलब्ध न होने के कारण दूसरे प्रदेशों में चले जाते हैं। अतः माननीय मंत्री महोदय से मेरा आग्रह है कि जनमानस की मांग एवं रोजगार को ध्यान में रखते हुए जनपद चंदौली में विशाल सरकारी औद्योगिक पार्क स्थापित कराने का विचार करें। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। श्रीमती सुलोता देव।
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. My special mention topic is request to resolve issue related to Jal Jeevan Mission in Odisha. A recent study in Odisha revealed that 40.55% of the surveyed households lack access to safe drinking water. This poses serious health risks and waterborne diseases due to contamination. Despite the state government Vasudha scheme, which aims to provide clean water to both rural and urban areas, there remains a pressing need for increased central assistance. The challenges faced by Odisha in implementing the Jal Jeevan Mission deserve compassionate attention and collaborative solution for the well-being of its residents. The central government must investigate and address the challenges hindering the Jal Jeevan Mission in Odisha. Collaboratively, the union and state governments can identify areas lacking safe water access to implement tailored schemes, sir. Through you, I urge the central government to promptly resolve the issues. Thank you. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you. Dr. Medha Vishram Kulkarni.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. For special mention, my subject is urgent demand for direct train services from Pune to Nasik. Honorable Vice Chairman, sir, I rise today to draw the attention of this august House to the urgent need for a direct train service between Pune Junction and Nasik, primarily to facilitate the travel of devotees visiting Kalaram Mandir, which is well-known temple dedicated to Lord Ram in Nashik. Nashik holds profound significance in Hindus as the place where Lord Ram has spent part of his exile. The Kalaram Mandir in Nashik attracts thousands of devotees from across India. However, the absence of direct train link from Pune, a major urban center, causes significant inconvenience. Currently, travelers from Pune must either change trains at Manmad or rely on bus services to reach Nashik. This indirect route not only extends the journey time but also increases costs and discomfort, especially for the elderly devotees and those from economically weaker sections. Introducing a direct train service between Pune and Nasik would significantly improve access to Kalaram Mandir, thereby boosting religious tourism in the region. This initiative would reflect the government's commitment to preserving and promoting India's rich and cultural heritage. Furthermore, establishing the train route would create employment opportunities and spur economic development in the local areas. It would also stand a testament to the government's dedication towards facilitating the spiritual and cultural journeys of its citizens. Therefore, I urge the Honorable Railway Minister to consider the immediate initiation of the direct train service from Pune Junction to Nashik. This move would not only meet the needs of the devotees, but also underscore the government's commitment to upholding cultural values and ensuring public welfare. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shri Niranjan BC.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. My special mention is demand to increase the supply of fertilizer to Odisha. Sir, fertilizers are integral to sustaining agricultural productivity by supplying essential nutrients crucial for crop growth. Timely availability is imperative for successful agricultural practices as it directly impacts crop quality. Last year, the Honorable former Chief Minister of Odisha, Sri Naveen Patnaik ji, formally communicated with the Union Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizers, emphasizing the fertilizer shortage and request a larger allocation of diammonium phosphate DAP and muriate of potash MOP. Sir, in response to the fertilizer scarcity, the then Odisha government, led by our former Chief Minister, Sri Naveen Patnaik ji, had implemented measures such as the Krusak Assistance of Livelihood and Income Augmentation, Kalia, and Balaram Scheme, etc., to support the farming community of Odisha. Despite these efforts, the persistent unavailability of fertilizers poses a significant challenge to crop production quality. It is crucial for the central government to intervene promptly in addressing this issue. Sir, therefore, through you, I respectfully request the central government to take requisite measures expeditiously to supply of fertilizer to the state of Odisha. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shri S. Niranjan Reddy.
Thank you, sir. I wanted to draw the attention of the House about concern over increase in antimicrobial resistance in India. Sir, antimicrobial resistance is a growing problem in India with an increase of 5 to 10% in resistance levels for broad spectrum antibiotics. Factors such as indiscriminate use of antibiotics, easy over-the-counter availability, and the misuse of strong antibiotic-based treatment for common infections are exacerbating the AMR crisis. Treatment of infectious diseases like E. coli and K. pneumonia has become exceptionally challenging due to the resistance to antibiotics like imipenem. According to a World Health Organization report, India ranks high in multi-drug resistant tuberculosis and drug-resistant typhoid cases, posing immense difficulties in effective treatment due to the emergence of antimicrobial resistance. The ICMR report also flags this as a major concern. The new Action Plan 2.0 for AMR is pending finalization and may have to be unveiled expeditiously to tackle the problem. Prominent medical professionals have warned that antimicrobial resistance in India has the potential to trigger the next epidemic. Failure to address this issue urgently will result in severe consequences, including prolonged hospital stays, escalated treatment expenses, heightened post-treatment healthcare costs, and most importantly, a grave threat to human life. Thus, I request the central government to swiftly prioritize and implement decisive measures to combat antimicrobial resistance with utmost urgency. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Anil Sukhdev Rao Bonde.
धन्यवाद पीठासीन सभापति महोदय। मैं आपके माध्यम से पूरे देश में गतिमंद और मतिमंद बालकों को लिए जो बेवारस है उनके लिए वज्र मॉडल का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करने की डिमांड रखता हूं। पूरे भारतवर्ष में गतिमंद तथा मतिमंद बालक युवाओं का पालन पोषण उनके माता पिता द्वारा किया जाता है। इन दिव्यांग जनों का निर्वहन पूर्णतः उनके पालकों के अधीन रहता है, लेकिन समाज का एक बड़ा हिस्सा जिसमें मतिमंद गतिमंद बालक बेवारस बेसहारा पालनकर्ता न होने के कारण गुजारा करते हैं। निसर्गतः इन पीड़ित बालकों को असामाजिक तत्वों से जूझना पड़ता है। ऐसे ही बच्चों के पालन पोषण और पुनर्वास के लिए महाराष्ट्र के अमरावती जिले के वज्जर ग्राम में शंकर बाबा पापड़कर ने लोक निधि के आधार पर बच्चों के पालन पोषण और पुनर्वास का निर्माण किया है। उनके इसी कार्य के लिए उन्हें इस साल माननीय राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी इन्होंने पद्मश्री पुरस्कार से भी सम्मानित किया है। आदरणीय शंकर बाबा पापड़कर ने इन गतिमंद और मतिमंद बेसहारा और बेवारस युवाओं को जीवन प्रदान किया है। मतिमंद गतिमंद बेसहारा बेवारस के पुनर्वास के लिए वज्र मॉडल का अवलोकन दिव्यांग विभाग के सचिव करें। 82 साल की उम्र के शंकर बाबा की मनोकामना तथा मेरी आपसे नम्र विनती है कि आश्रम के अवलोकन के साथ ही गतिमंद मतिमंद बेसहारा और बेवारस 18 साल के उम्र के बाद में भी पर्याप्त पुनर्वसन की योजना केंद्र तथा राज्य द्वारा कार्यान्वित हो, इसलिए संबंधित विभाग को शीघ्र निवेदन जारी करें। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। श्री शुभाशीष खुंटिया।
Jai Jagannath. Honorable Vice Chairman Sir, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to draw attention of the government to establish a new central university in Odisha, Puri. Sir, there is only one central university in Odisha, about of 56 central universities in India. Students from Odisha desiring quality education and research opportunities go to other states for higher education. Most of the gifted students deprived of getting opportunities in Central University Koraput are forced to choose other universities outside Odisha. Many meritorious students dare not pursue higher studies out of the state due to their poor socio-economic conditions. The important reason for demanding another Central University in Puri, Odisha is the demographic picture that we have. Sir, Odisha has a youth population of over 1.7 crore people aged about 14 to 34 years in 2020, which is about 35% of the state's population. Dreams of students will come true with a low budget quality higher education with the establishment of second Central University in Puri, Odisha. Therefore, Puri is the best place to establish the second Central University because of its geographical location, the cultural, historical, and spiritual significance of the abode of Lord Sri Jagannath and an international tourist place. I, on behalf of the people of Odisha and through you, sir, urge upon the Minister of Education, who is also from Odisha, to consider and establish the second Central University at Puri, Odisha, and the long cherished desire of the people of Odisha will fulfill. Thank you. Bande Utkal Janani.
Thank you. Shri M. Shanmugam.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Sir. I want to raise the need to allocate funds to various labor welfare boards whose funding was stopped due to repeal of various labor laws. Sir, there were various labor welfare acts through which excise duties were collected, like limestone, dolomite mines, labor welfare fund, cine workers welfare fund, and the funds were being transferred to various labor boards. After the introduction of the GST regime, these acts were repealed and the collection excise was stopped. Similarly, after passing legislation on the 4 labor codes, certain labor welfare acts relating to collection of chess like iron, manganese, chrome ore, mines, Labor Welfare Chess Act, BD Worker Chess Act, Tea Chess, Salt Chess were repealed. So here also collection of chess which used to be transferred to the respective labor welfare fund was stopped. As mentioned, Labor Welfare Board like Mines Labor Welfare Board, BD Workers Welfare Board were spending money on the welfare of workers and their families relating health, education, maternity benefit, hospital treatment, group insurance, housing assistance, death cum retirement benefits, etc. Now these welfare boards do not have fund to carry out their activities for the welfare workers, and the workers are suffering. I would therefore demand that Ministry of Labor should recommend the Ministry of Finance to take necessary action to allocate funds for various labor welfare boards for continuing the activities of these labor welfare boards for the welfare of the workers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shri Chunnilal Garasia.
मान्यवर, राजस्थान का उदयपुर संभाग एक जनजातीय बाहुल्य क्षेत्र है और भारत सरकार के शेड्यूल्ड फिफ्थ में टीएसपी क्षेत्र घोषित है। मैं माननीय विधि मंत्री जी से संज्ञान में लाना चाहता हूं कि उदयपुर संभाग मुख्यालय पर कई वर्षों से राजस्थान हाई कोर्ट की बेंच स्थापित करने की मांग चल रही है। इस मांग को उदयपुर संभाग की आम जनता और बार काउंसिल द्वारा लगातार लगभग 37 वर्षों से की जा रही है। वर्तमान में उदयपुर संभाग के लोगों को अपने न्याय के लिए जोधपुर हाई कोर्ट जाना पड़ता है, जो कि काफी दूर पड़ता है। जनजाति वर्ग के लोगों को काफी खर्चीला और समय लगता है। इस विषय को लेकर आपके माध्यम से मैं विधि मंत्री जी से आग्रह करना चाहता हूं, अपनी मांग रखना चाहता हूं कि बदलते डिजिटल युग में उदयपुर संभाग मुख्यालय पर वर्चुअल हाई कोर्ट बेंच की स्थापना तत्काल की जाए, जिससे उदयपुर संभाग की आम जनता को अतिशीघ्र लाभ मिल सके और अपने न्याय और हक के लिए समय और खर्च बचाया जा सके। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। श्री KRN Rajesh Kumar.
Honorable Vice Chairman, sir. Today my special mention, the demand to converted Salem to Sangambelli National Highway 544, approximate 103 kilometer from 4 lands to 6 lands in Tamil Nadu, sir. Sir, I bring to your kind notice that the Salem-Sangambelli stretch 103 kilometer is part of the Salem-Kochi Highway in South India, sir. It connects Salem to Kochi, Kerala, and major hubs like Coimbatore, Erode, and Namakkal. It is an essential route for domestic agriculture and poultry exports, sir. Over 20,000 commercial vehicles and many domestic vehicles use this route daily. The highway also serves 15 plus academic institutions which operate their own transport vehicles, sir. Sir, in light of this, I raised a question regarding the same to the Minister of Road Transport and Highways, for which I received a reply that DPR has been awarded. Sir, I submit that this project is feasible and the traffic in this route is to be managed, for which I put forth that on a day-to-day basis. The traffic on this route is increasing and vehicle jam has become more frequent due to the various reasons, including the minor and major accidents, sir. On the average, every vehicle additionally spends minimum 30 minutes to 45 minutes daily to reach the destination. The spending 3 to 4 liters of additional fuel every trip and polluting the environment. Therefore, I humbly request the Minister of Road Transport and Highways via this August House to convert the 103 kilometer stretch National Highways 544 from 4 lands to 6 lands, considering the needs and necessity. This initiative not only reduces the pollution, but also saves approximately 1 lakh liters of fuel wasted by the vehicles stuck in traffic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shri Jawahar Sarkar. Microphone, please.
It's going to come in a
Sorry,
second. No, you
I'll
can
go back.
The microphone there.
Thank you, sir. I would like to raise and express the concern of all citizens, including members of the House, to the fact that several doctors are reported to have given wrong prescriptions. This is the report that came out. In fact, one of the nation's highest medical bodies, the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, has published this report of its study of 13 medical institutions, which includes AIIMS, or most favored AIIMS, and Safdarjung Hospital. And they state that around 45% of the doctors are writing incomplete prescriptions. The report has also stated that 10% of the prescriptions had unacceptable deviations, like inappropriate prescription of medicines, wrong medicines, or even more than one diagnosis. This, when the ICMR says about AIIMS and Safdarjung, one must take it very seriously. There are several other worrisome findings that require to be addressed. Through this council, I would request the health minister to kindly elucidate what are the steps that government is taking on this report, not only on the hospitals where the ICMR study was concerned, which are the topmost hospitals of India, but elsewhere across the other hospitals where the situation must be worse. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shri S. Selva Ganapati.
Thank you, Ex-Chairman, sir. Today, my special mention is request for starting a Sainik school in Puducherry. The Sainik schools are a system of public school in India established and managed by the Sainik School Society under the Ministry of Defense. The primary objective of the Sainik schools is to prepare students academically, mentally, and physically for entry into the National Defense Academy, Indian Naval Academy, and the Air Force Academy. There are 33 Sainik schools in the country, and the Ministry of Defense has proposed to establish 100 more boarding Sainik schools with the help of public-private partnership mode. Puducherry, being a union territory, has a rich population of young children, but nowadays they are diverted from disciplined life towards narcotics. It is now imperative that they should be brought back to make them better citizens of India. If a residential Sainik school is established in Puducherry, it would be a great opportunity to contribute to national defense also. The Puducherry government will come forward to provide facilities like land and infrastructure, etc., for running the school. With the opening of the Sainik school, it will also uphold the reservation policy, which mainly caters SC and ST residents of Puducherry and the wards of armed forces employees and ex-servicemen who have served this country. Therefore, I urge the central government to start one residential Sainik school in the interest of the people of Puducherry. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Srimati Phulo Devi Netam.
धन्यवाद महोदय। राष्ट्रीय खनिज विकास निगम NMDC इस्पात मंत्रालय का नवरत्न सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र का उद्यम है, जो भारत के लौह अयस्क का सबसे बड़ा उत्पादक है। छत्तीसगढ़ के दंतेवाड़ा में बैलाडीला की पहाड़ी पर NMDC की खदान से भारी मात्रा में पानी आने से किरंदुल शहर में तबाही मची हुई है। गरीब आदिवासियों की जीवन भर की पूंजी बह गई, सैकड़ों लोग घायल हो गए, कई विकलांग हो गए, मकान दुकान ढह गए, सड़क गाड़ियां बह गई। राज्य सरकार द्वारा चेक डैम की दीवार टूटने की बात कही गई है और पीड़ितों को मात्र 20,000 रुपए की आर्थिक सहायता दी गई है। महोदय, एनएमडीसी ने पहाड़ी पर कई एकड़ में 11 अस्थायी चेक डैम बना रखे हैं। इनकी कोई मजबूत स्थायी दीवार नहीं है। जहां बारिश होने पर एनएमडीसी द्वारा मिट्टी के मेड़ को हटाया गया, जिससे किरंदुल शहर में बाढ़ आ गई है। अतः आपके माध्यम से मेरा निवेदन है कि इस प्रकरण की उच्च स्तरीय जांच कराई जाए। एनएमडीसी द्वारा पीड़ितों को हुए नुकसान की पूरी भरपाई की जाए, घायलों को नौकरी दी जाए और अस्थायी चेक डैम को पक्का किया जाए, जिससे भविष्य में अनहोनी को रोका जाए। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर कनिमोरी NVN Somu.
Sir, the ESI Medical College and the PGI MSR Kalaignar Karunanidhi Nagar, Chennai is one of the most important center for healthcare services, especially to lakhs of people in Chennai. This hospital was initially commissioned as a 250-bedded hospital in the year 1979 and was under the control of the Tamil Nadu state government till 1991. To open a zonal occupational disease center in South India, the hospital was taken over and is being run by the ESI Corporation, New Delhi from 1991. Presently, this hospital is functioning as a model hospital with multi-speciality treatment facility and occupational disease center. The hospital is catering to referral cases from 15 ESI dispensaries and other hospitals in Chennai, covering an insured population of over 5 lakhs. There are several lakh employees in and around Chennai needs quality medical care, providing social security to insured workers, bringing more workers from under-organized sector under the ambit of ESI scheme. Service delivery augmentation is the need of the hour service. For this, the current strength of the specialist doctors need to be increased adequately. There are several issues pertaining to the medical, paramedical, and non-medical staff in this hospital needs to be addressed immediately. I urge the union government to increase the bed strength at ESI Medical College and PGI MSR, KK Nagar, Chennai, to 1,200 and to develop a state-of-art cath lab and a separate oncology block to cater the needs of millions of workers population in Greater Chennai. Thank you.
Thank you.
It supports.
Shri Sattam Singh Sandhu to speak in Punjabi.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सभापति जी। श्री आनंदपुर साहब शहर पंजाबी समुदाय और सिख संप्रदाय के लिए ऐतिहासिक महत्व रखता है। यह होली सिटी ऑफ ब्लिस सिखों के लिए अमृतसर के बाद सबसे पवित्र स्थानों में से एक है। यह सिख धर्म की धार्मिक परंपराओं और इतिहास से करीबी से जुड़ा हुआ है और सिखों के 5 सबसे महत्वपूर्ण धार्मिक स्थानों में से एक है। ये खालसा पंथ की जन्मस्थली भी है। यहीं पर गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी ने 1699 में बैसाखी के दिन खालसा पंथ की स्थापना की थी। हर साल दुनिया भर से लाखों श्रद्धालु श्री केसगढ़ साहब में माथा टेकने आते हैं। श्री आनंदपुर साहब का होला मोहल्ला त्योहार भी दुनिया भर में प्रसिद्ध है। 1999 में खालसा पंथ की 300वां जन्मदिन समारोह पूरे भारत और दुनिया भर में मनाया गया, जिसका उद्घाटन तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री श्री अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने 8 अप्रैल 1999 को आनंदपुर साहब में समारोह का उद्घाटन किया और इस पवित्र शहर को एक सैन्य अकादमी का उपहार देने का ऐलान भी किया। हालांकि बाद में ये मुद्दा ठंडा पड़ गया और सैन्य अकादमी की स्थापना अभी भी लंबित है। जैसा हम सब जानते हैं, ये सरकार राष्ट्र प्रथम के आदर्श वाक्य पर काम करती है। इस संबंध में मैं सरकार से मांग करता हूं कि कृपया इस मामले पर गौर करें और श्री आनंदपुर साहब को सैन्य अकादमी का अधिकार देने पर विचार करें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। श्री रंगुरा नरजारी।
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. My subject is demand to complete approval process of Bongaigaon Refinery project expansion in Assam. Bongaigaon Refinery, located in the district of Chirang, Bodoland Territorial Region, has tirelessly served this nation since 1974 and has been fueling the growth engine of the province of Assam and the state of India. Under the Hydrocarbon Vision 2030, then MOS for Ministry of Petroleum Natural Gas announced Government of India's decision to finance and support BGR expansion from 2.7 million metric ton to 5 million metric ton on 17 November 2021 at Bongaigaon Refinery Auditorium during the celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. This declaration was well received and was applauded by the people of Assam. Accordingly, we were hopeful that the process of approval of the BGR expansion project would be completed without delay, and the foundation laying ceremony for Bongaigaon Refinery would also be done along the foundation of Digboi Refinery on the last 9 March 2024. So BTC government expedited land allotment process and allotment letter issued to IOCL for 532 bighas land and proposed to offer additional 300 bighas land and requested IOCL for consent. But it is a matter of great concern that till now the approval process after MOS statement has not completed. BGR's sustainability will depend on the timely intervention by the Ministry of Petroleum Natural Gas. As financial 2023-24 was fixed as outlook for completion of expansion, BGR, I request the Minister of Petroleum Natural Gas to intervene immediately on approval process and have a famous and legacy refinery from ending for the interest of the people of Assam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. John Brittas.
Thank you, sir. The subject is demand to abolish GST on assistive products for persons with disabilities and ensuring adequate budgetary support. There is an urgent need to address the problems endured by millions of persons with disabilities. Imposition of 5% GST on essential aids like prosthetic limbs, wheelchairs, brailers, etc. is a financial burden. These devices are not luxury items, sir. They are essential lifelines, enabling their independence, mobility, education, and employment. 2011 census reported approximately 2.68 crore individuals with disabilities, a number that is likely to have increased significantly since then. The Artificial Limb Manufacturing Corporation of India, the premier government agency supplying assistive living equipments nationwide, has been of great assistance. Nevertheless, its budgetary allocation has been significantly reduced over the years, compounding the challenges. I urge the government to initiate immediate discussions with the GST Council to abolish GST on assistive products for persons with disabilities and to allocate increased budgetary support for their well-being. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shri Milind Murli Deora.
So on June 8th, an Indigo aircraft touched down at Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport, merely seconds after an Air India aircraft took off. At the time, the distance between the two aircrafts was barely 2,000 feet. This was one of the closest and scariest air traffic incidents in recent history. In response to my letter, the DGCA assured an investigation and corrective action for the incident. Mumbai's airport is one of the world's busiest single runway airports, handling nearly 1,000 flights daily, with up to 46 arrivals and departures per hour. Last year, the airport handled almost 4.4 crore passengers, with flight operations rising from 186,000 in FY22 to 290,000 in FY23. Despite the Civil Aviation Ministry's 14 February 2024 directive to reduce flight numbers, the summer schedule saw an 8% increase in weekly flight movement, clearly indicating the need for a permanent solution to decongest CSMIA. The only long-term solution is the timely completion of the Navi Mumbai International Airport in Ulve. I urge the government at both the center and Maharashtra for accelerating its development and targeting commercial operations by 31st March 2025 and ensuring that every effort be made to prevent any further delays in its operationalization. Additionally, I urge the Civil Aviation Ministry to invest in developing indigenous artificial intelligence technologies to assist ATC towers in managing traffic more efficiently. Embracing innovative technology will not only enhance safety, but also position us as leaders in aviation management. Thank you.
Thank you. Shri Kartikeya Sharma.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, sir. The subject is a request for establishment of Industrial Model Township IMT in Ambala. सभापति महोदय, अंबाला में औद्योगिक मॉडल टाउनशिप यानी कि IMT की स्थापना पिछले 14-15 सालों से जनता की मांग रही है, जो इस क्षेत्र की आर्थिक क्षमता और औद्योगिक बुनियादी ढांचे को मजबूत करने की आवश्यकता से प्रेरित है। अंबाला राष्ट्रीय राजमार्ग नेटवर्क पर स्थित होने के कारण दिल्ली और चंडीगढ़ जैसे बड़े शहरों से बेहतरीन कनेक्टिविटी का आनंद लेता है। हालांकि अंबाला का वर्तमान औद्योगिक सेटअप अभी भी अविकसित है, जिससे क्षेत्र की आर्थिक वृद्धि बाधित होती है और रोजगार के अवसर सीमित हो जाते हैं। अंबाला में IMT की स्थापना न केवल वहां की बेरोजगारी की दर को कम करेगा, बल्कि वहां की आर्थिक स्थिरता को भी मजबूत करेगा। IMT से जुड़ा बुनियादी ढांचे का विकास, जिसमें बेहतर सड़कें, नागरिक सुविधाएं और लॉजिस्टिक सुविधाएं शामिल हैं, कनेक्टिविटी और रहने की गुणवत्ता को बढ़ाएगा, जिससे न केवल औद्योगिक संचालन बल्कि निवासियों को दैनिक जीवन को भी लाभ होगा। इसी तरह कालका में HMT फैक्ट्री के बंद होने से अंबाला संसदीय क्षेत्र के आसपास के क्षेत्रों में इंडस्ट्रीज पर भी बेहद प्रभाव पड़ा है। हालांकि इसका कारण शहर में बुनियादी विकास, रोड कनेक्टिविटी इत्यादि की कमी थी, लेकिन इससे अंबाला संसदीय क्षेत्र का समग्र विकास धीमा हो गया है। इसलिए मैं भारत सरकार से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वह कालका के विकास के लिए शीघ्र ही एक उचित उद्योग वहां स्थापित करे। अंबाला में IMT की स्थापना से न केवल अंबाला बल्कि पूरे हरियाणा और आसपास के क्षेत्रों के लोगों को विकास सुनिश्चित होगा। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। श्री अमरपाल मौर्य।
My subject, demand to taught traffic rules subject in the country from primary level in school. महोदय, जब कोई व्यक्ति किसी कार्य को अपना कर्तव्य समझकर करता है, तो वह उसके जीवन का एक अभिन्न अंग बन जाता है। जब कोई बच्चा छोटा है तो उसके माता पिता उसे बताते हैं, या माँ है, भाई है या बहन है, इसका बोध बच्चे को कराता है। और वह बच्चा जब बड़ा होता है तो उसे अपने माता पिता के प्रति क्या कर्तव्य होने चाहिए, जैसे जैसे वह बड़ा होता है उसे उसका बोध होता है एवं उसके पश्चात अपने दायित्वों का जीवन भर निर्वहन करता है। इसी प्रकार यातायात नियमों को इस प्रकार की भावनाओं से सीखने की आवश्यकता है। आज व्यक्ति प्रशासन के डर के कारण हेलमेट लगाता है कि कहीं उसका चालान न कट जाए, कार में सीट बेल्ट भी इसलिए ही लगाता है। ऐसी भावनाओं को आज बदलने की आवश्यकता है। ट्रैफिक पुलिस भी चालान इसलिए करती है कि राजस्व इकट्ठा करना है, और सरकारों में ऐसी व्यवस्था भी है कि इतने चालान साल भर में करने हैं। महोदय, आज इन दोनों व्यवस्था में सुधार करने की अति आवश्यकता है, जिससे जन और धन दोनों की हानि से बचा जा सकता है। अतः सरकार से निवेदन है कि स्कूल स्तर हो या फिर कॉलेज, सभी प्रकार के संस्थानों में और नौकरी करने वाले सभी संस्थाओं में यात्रा नियमों के पालन के विषय की पढ़ाई और सड़क पर जाकर प्रत्यक्ष रूप से संचालन करके अपने जीवन में अपना कर्तव्य समझकर करना है, ना कि डर के कारण। यही आज की आवश्यकता है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर सैयद नासिर हुसैन।
Thank you, sir. My special mention is on concern over critical railways safety staffing issues amidst tragic mishaps. I bring to the attention of the House a critical issue affecting the safety of the Indian railways. As of March 2024, over 1.5 lakh safety positions remain vacant, constituting more than 15% of sanctioned roles. This shortage is especially severe in crucial positions like train drivers and inspectors. Recent train mishaps highlight the urgent need for action. Since the tragic Odisha rail accident last year, which claimed over 290 lives, India has witnessed numerous derailments. Notably, in the past 6 weeks alone, 3 passenger train accidents have resulted in 17 deaths and over 100 injuries. The most recent near Barabambu in Jharkhand, where 18 coaches of the Howrah-Mumbai mail got derailed, has already claimed 2 lives and injured over 20 passengers. It is reported that 14,429 loco pilot posts are vacant out of 70,093 posts. And 4,337 assistant driver positions are unfilled out of 57,551 posts. Immediate action is required. I urge the Honorable Minister of Railways to prioritize filling these safety critical positions to ensure safety of millions who depend on our railways daily. Thank you, sir.
Rest of the special mentions will be taken later in the day. All the members who had given their names to participate in the general discussion on the Union Budget 2024-25 and the Budget of Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir 2024-25 have already participated. Now the Honorable Minister of Finance will reply to the discussion. Honorable Minister of Finance.
Thank you very much, Chairman, sir. There's been a very robust discussion on the budget. I understand 83 speakers have participated in the discussion, and that actually shows the interest that honorable members have taken on the topic. After a brief introduction, which I would like to begin with, I'd go by issues, clubbing several members who have spoken on a particular issue, and so on for various different issues. And I'll also try to refer to the names of the honorable members who have raised these issues and while answering. Sir, this budget of 24-25 is actually a continuation of the interim budget. So the features of the interim budget, the critical aspects of it, are naturally subsumed into this regular budget. And since 2014, the principle which has guided us is the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas, which continues in this budget as well, and hopefully will guide for the next 5 years. The 5 years being, this set of 5 years being very critical in taking the first steps towards building a Vikasit Bharat by 2047. This budget strikes a fine balance amongst several overriding priorities. Growth, employment, welfare spending, capital investments, and fiscal consolidation are all equally given a place, and we've tried balancing all of them. Sir, I had promised in this House in 21-22 the government would endeavor to attain a fiscal deficit to the GDP level below 4.5% by the year 25-26. We had reached an unprecedented high number of 9.2% in 2021, and we are well on track to attain that target. According to the IMF, India's share in the global growth is 16%, and it is also rising. While this budget seeks to consolidate our earlier accomplishments, I have announced a slew of measures aimed at providing renewed impetus to the manufacturing sector. I would just like to take a few minutes on expanding on this. The aim is to boost domestic employment, create employment opportunities, and ensure high and sustained increase in India's share in the global GDP over the next 5 years. Several measures have been taken. In this budget in particular, we had mentioned about the basic customs duty, which has been reduced, and on specific items. Together with the production linked incentives given for mobiles, India now already produces 97% of all the total mobile phones in demand in the country. And 30% of total production in India in the year 24 has gone for exports exclusively. So India's production-linked incentive scheme stands out as a successful scheme, taking this one example, and in the other 13 sectors, 14 together, 13 sectors also, we see a lot of interest in investing and producing so that India becomes a manufacturing hub. The production-linked incentive scheme, which was brought in because we wanted to attract a lot of investment into India, is seeing a lot of interest and continues to see a lot of interest in investors. Further, in this budget, we also set up a critical mineral mission for domestic production and for recycling of critical minerals. We also are envisaging overseas acquisition of critical mineral assets. Further, we fully exempted customs duty on 25 critical minerals and reduced the basic customs duty on 2 of them. 2 were differentiated from the rest for particular reasons. So reduction in 2 and full exemption for 25 other critical minerals. I've also announced, sir, the development of investment-ready plug-and-play industrial parks in and around 100 cities of India. So that would immediately be a big attraction for people to come and set up businesses, being closer to cities that will enable them to have good skilled workforce to be employed. We are working towards establishing 3 centers of excellence in top education institutions for realizing the vision of Make AI in India and Make AI Work for India. That was mentioned in Budget 22-23. We are further strengthening the artificial intelligence excellence centers being built in top education institutions. So in March 2024, government approved e-vehicle policy to promote India as a manufacturing destination so that e-vehicles with the latest technology can be manufactured in our country. So furthermore, I go back to the point that I had made in 2021 budget about the new public sector enterprises policy, which clearly opened up all sectors in India for private participation also. Public sector will continue in critical core sector and strategically important sectors, but private sector has been now allowed into every sector, none of which is reserved for public sector alone. I take the example of the space sector, sir, here. Opening up has helped, and today space sector startups are receiving funds, and India is now becoming a big hub for space sector innovation and space sector startups. The recent newspaper announcements have been clearly stating the kind of investment interest which is being generated. The figures are not readily available with me, but I know that 126 million US dollars funding was received by startups in 2023. But that continues, the flow continues. Further, both in the last year's budget and this year's, sir, we have allocated resources for the National Research Foundation under the National Research Foundation Act of 2023. This time also Anusandhan National Research Foundation has had allocation be made. Last year itself, we declared 50,000 crores for over 5 years for research for research along with private sector. So in these ways, we have tried making India an attractive manufacturing destination and given good incentive and impetus for manufacturing to set up business in India. So a brief look at some highlights of the numbers that I want to speak about. The total expenditure in the Union government's budget statement 24-25 is 48.21 lakh crores. The total expenditure in the regular budget 24-25 is 54,744 crores more than that of the interim budget which was presented in 1st February this year. So the highlight that I would like to draw the attention of the honorable members is that capital expenditure is pegged at 11 lakh crores. And this is one of the biggest ever allocation made for capital expenditure. And this shows a 17% increase over the provisional actuals of February of FY 23-24 over the last year. 17% increase over the last year. But in this context, I would like to highlight one important fact about the capital expenditure which happened during the UPA era. Capex allocation was 13.19 lakh crores between 2004-5 to 2013-14. The 10 years of UPA saw 13.19 lakh crores. Whereas during our 10 years ending 2024, the allocation for capital expenditure is 43.82 lakh crores. So the emphasis that we've given, particularly after COVID, for the capital expenditure being one of the very important routes through which the economy revival can be planned, has actually shown result, but the actual numbers are these. So there is also interest among members to know if the transfer to the states has been proper and as has been recommended by the finance commissions. I would like to underline that our unflinching commitment to cooperative federalism, the total resources proposed to be transferred to the state this year, 24-25, is estimated to be 22.91 lakh crores. This actually entails an increase of about 2.49 lakh crores over 23-24. Even compared to last year, it's an increase of about 2.49 lakh crores. Similarly, the outlays for all union territories has also increased from 61,118 crores in 23-24 to 68,660 crores in 24-25. So the states and the union territories are clearly getting in time the resources which are expected to be released for them. Although the budget documents have details of different schemes, I'm moving over to this point about sectoral allocations. So there is this interest to know if the allocations for certain particular sectors have increased or decreased. I would like to just give a comparative picture, sir. Agriculture and allied sectors in 24-25 received 1.52 lakh crores, which is 8,000 crores more than the last year. There is no reduction. Just for comparison, 2013-14, when the UPA government term was over, they had given only 30,000 crore. 30,000 crore then, 1.52 lakh crores now. Sir, education, employment and skilling, 1.48 lakh.
Please, honorable members, Finance Minister is speaking. Please. Yes. Honorable Finance Minister.
Sir, 24-25 budget for education, employment and skilling is 1.48 lakh crores, and it is 28,000 crores more than the last year, whereas again 2013-14 it was only 85,000 crores. Women and girls, sir, 3.27 lakh crores in the current budget, which is 41% more allocation, 96,000 crore more allocation compared to the previous year. 96,000 crores it was in 2013-14. Similarly, for rural development, sir, 24-25, the current budget gives 2.66 lakh crores, 28,000 crores more than compared to last year, and it was just 87,000 crores in 2013-14. Urban development, 83,000 crores and 7,000 crores more than the last year, 12,000 crores in 13-14. Health and social welfare, sir, 1.46 lakh crores. Compared to last year, it is 74,000 crores more, 3,000 crore more than last year and 74,000 crores more than 2013-14. So also already mentioned about the fiscal deficit. I just want to highlight that we had projected 5.1% of the GDP as the fiscal deficit in the interim budget, whereas now when we presented the regular budget for this year, it has been brought down further to 4.9%, and we aim to reach the deficit below 4.5% next year, sticking to the glide path given in 2021. And it was also said in the budget speech that from 26-27 onwards, our endeavor will be to adhere to a path that ensures that the central government's debt as a percentage of GDP is on the declining trend. Our focus will be on that. So I'd like to mention in this August House that the average weighted average yield, which is broadly the one which corresponds to the average cost of borrowing of the central government securities issued during the 10-year period of 2014-15 to 2023-24 is lower by about 60 basis points than the period between 2004-5 to 13-14. This is, and I'm giving a very notional idea, sir, but it helps to put things in perspective. If the borrowings in UPA 1 and UPA 2 were near the rates obtained by us, I know it is determined by so many other factors, market and so on. But if the borrowings in the UPA 1 and 2 were near the rates obtained by us, which could have been possible if they had our policies and our kind of credibility, it would have resulted in notional interest savings of approximately 35,000 crores for the government. Just to bring in the perspective, it can always be questioned saying, oh, how can you bring in notional? But it's a perspective, sir. This points to recognition of this government's fiscal management and the management by the and this observation, the government's fiscal management prowess is an object. It's an observation of global observers, domain experts, and of course, dispassionate economists, that the fiscal management of this government, which is a typical good feature which the Honorable then CM of Gujarat and now PM of country has always maintained fiscal prudence as one of the very important governance principles. Honorable members, therefore, would be pleased to know that with all these governors' macroeconomic stability related features, the IMF has recently upgraded India's gross domestic product growth in the year 24-25 to 7%. So from an exceptionally low hit GDP growth during COVID, within a few years to rise to be the fastest growing economy in the world, I think could not have been possible without the hard work and toil of all Indians, irrespective of the sectors in which they are, farmers, workers, informal sector workers, construction workers, and all the entrepreneurs, the MSMEs and so on, and the visionary leadership, which has a futuristic vision, because from the front, the Prime Minister leads the economy, we are able to achieve this. So I also presented the budget for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. I just want to highlight a few important features before I move on to responding to honorable members' issues which they had raised on the budget. So I'm happy to inform that the concrete steps that have been taken by the Union Territory administration to free itself from the legacy fiscal distress related issues which they had inherited from the erstwhile state. And this has borne good results. With substantial financial support given by the Government of India, 17,000 crores have been provided as support in the union budget of UT this year. The fiscal deficit to GSDP ratio of the Union Territory of J&K is estimated at 3% for the financial year 24-25. There is clearly a sign that public finances of UT of Jammu and Kashmir is now back on the rails. The government has worked very hard, unhindered, towards fulfilling the development aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir with great sense of fiscal responsibility. Because I'm dealing with Jammu Kashmir budget now and later I go to the general budget, there are issues which have been raised about J&K budget which has been tabled in this house, both inside and outside of this august house. Now, I take this opportunity with your permission, sir, to address issues which have been raised in this house and equally because of importance given of those issues which have been raised outside as well. So the first issue is borrowings have risen from 12,000 crores to 24,000 crores in the last 2 years, and it is unprecedented and it shows fiscal mismanagement. This is an allegation. I'd like to respond, sir. Unlike other states and union territories, J&K has been plagued with pressures from externally sponsored terrorism. This is not a secret, all of us know it. In addition, historical legacy of poor governance, and I reiterate this point, sir, historical legacy of poor governance and low revenue base had created a situation of near perpetual distress and dependence on the union government. Just no way in which the state could have run without the union helping them, and that is how the main feature of J&K's state's budget was and also the economy was. With given this kind of a legacy inheritance that we've got, as part of the efforts to correct lingering fiscal distortions and for enabling transparent disclosure of the fiscal situation, the Union Territory Administration has brought off-budget borrowings onto its books. This has been done within the borrowing ceiling allowed to the Union Territory in each of the years which have gone by. So this is something which I have to state with conviction, that the UT was permitted to undertake additional borrowings against unutilized borrowing space from the previous years to take off-budget borrowings on the budget and finance its expenditure commitments. So the questions also, or the allegations also were that fiscal deficit was pegged at 1.6 and it has turned to 5.36 in FY24, more than 3 times the original estimate. And also that the capex has been slashed by 10%. The question therefore was, will the central government take blame for fiscal profligacy at the state level? I'd like to dispel any confusion in the minds of people. Along with the special support of 17,000 crore, which has been announced in this budget from the union government, several other things are happening along with the efforts in recent past would reduce the fiscal deficit, and I hope it will reduce the fiscal deficit to 3.3% actually in 24-25. So it's not just the 17,000 crores that has been given as a special support, but also because of the efforts which are being put in the last few years, I think fiscal deficit will be back at 3.3%. While tax revenues, sir, have seen impressive growth, efforts on metering has improved billing and collection efficiency in the power sector. And that has also resulted in non-tax revenues increasing from 5,148 crores in 22-23 to 6,500 crores in 23-24. It's a big reform step that has been taken, well received by the people, and as a result of which we are able to have collection efficiency in the power sector. And I appreciate the J&K administration for having taken this effort, which is showing results for its own benefit. The Union Territory has also very important points, and this is a point which I submit to your consideration and for the August House to recognize that the Union Territory has discontinued the earlier practices of running hundis and overdrafts from J&K Bank for its day-to-day cash management. This was a feature, sir. Every year, this would literally be a burden on J&K Bank and equally a lazy comfort for the administration that they could do this operation with the J&K Bank and get away with being transparent in the way in which they handled their accounts. I'm glad that this practice has been discontinued. During the last 4 years, the J&K Bank has made a remarkable turnaround from a loss-making bank of 1,139 crores of rupees in 2019-20. The bank has now made a profit of 1,700 crores in the year 23-24. So that is the kind of turnaround, and that's the kind of efficiency with which the bank is now performing, being run professionally since after 2019. Capital expenditure for the Union Territory, sir, has also increased from 10,634 crore rupees 22-23 to 12,101 crore in 23-24. So recording a 13.8% growth. So J&K Union Territory and their situation is in a healthy fiscal situation, being able to meet the development aspirations of the state. One other point of criticism, if I may say so, has been that the state's tax to GDP ratio increased from 5 to 8% in 3 years. Does this mean the people of J&K are subject to heavy taxation without any corresponding increase in their welfare? This is one of the questions asked. I like to highlight, sir, that the J&K situation, J&K's higher tax to GDP ratio is due to better compliance and effective monitoring of the taxation system. I like to mention that with the introduction of GST, tax rate across the country is the same on all GST products. The rate of taxation on non-GST items are either at par with other states or only lower and not higher in J&K. Revenues from GST, motor spirit tax, excise, stamp duties were 9,467 crores in 2019-20. It has increased to 13,903 crores in the year 23-24. So the administration is showing efficiency in collecting from non-GST tax also. And as a result, the fiscal health of the state is also improving. So the UT has also given care to expand the dealer registrations, improve GST return compliances, initiated a lot of e-stamping systems, and conducted transparent excise auctions. Very important, sir. Transparent excise auctions. So that itself gives a lot of confidence about the way in which J&K administration is moving. On the employment rates, sir, 15 to 59-year-olds, the unemployment rate has come down from 6.4% in 2020-21, gradually to 5.7% in 21-22, and to 4.4% in 22-23. This has become possible because of substantial public investments that have led to creation of avenues of employment opportunities. Sir, I'd like the honorable members and yourself, the honorable chair, sir, to listen to the next issue, for which I will give my response. But I'm a bit concerned about the way this kind of a charge has been made on the union government. Sir, the allegation is, and I read it, perhaps the most worrying development is the FM's announcement that the union government has agreed to take the entire burden of the budget of police in J&K by spending 12,000 crores. It further goes to say this was earlier being done by the union government as part of the security reimbursement expenditure. Why hasn't that been, or why has that been repackaged from a reimbursement situation is the question. Further, has the police salary liability been taken over by the union government in perpetuity is also a question. To add to it, and this is the most interesting part, sir, does it reflect the government's intention to rule the state from Delhi in perpetuity by retaining home affairs of J&K with the union government? Will the FM commit in the House that taking over police salary liability is not a Trojan horse? I'd like to respond to this, sir. The scheme on reimbursement of security-related expenditure continues even today. So it has not been discontinued. Had it been discontinued, you will have the suspicion. But when it has not been, why would you have the suspicion in the first place? Or is it being not cared for, or you want to put it in the side and still generate a conversation based on just your apprehensions? I'm not sure if it is a responsible way to approach this issue. Second, sir, if at all, and I'm saying this with a bit of a hesitation, but I want to say this. If at all, sir, there was a Trojan horse as regards J&K, it is Article 335A and Article 370, which were the real Trojan horse, because it was not even made as a part of the constitutional amendment. It was just put in the appendix as though that's also part of the constitution, but it was not duly brought as a constitutional amendment. But for those who are carrying that constitution nowadays and showing it, they should explain to us, was that not a deceit? And is that not the Trojan horse to keep J&K not integrated with India? With that done, with that kind of a Trojan horse approach, you're asking us that when we take the burden of J&K police money, so that the J&K administration will have more money to do developmental activity and the center can take the salary of the J&K police, to insinuate that this is being done with an intention of for perpetuity. I'm sorry, this entire approach is making me wonder if this is being done deliberately so that there can be a kind of a, atmosphere created of doubt about India, about India's governance, about India's federal structure. This approach, I'm sorry to say, sir, is not healthy. And to just put it out, to say that this is how we perceive it. You've been in governance for more than 70 years. Not 70, 50, 40 years. I'm sure you understand the significance of what is going on and the way in which that state is being restored back to be a part of India. We belong to a party, sir, which firmly believed from the beginning, from 1947, Ek Desh, Ek Nishan, Ek Vidhan, unlike the Congress party. Sir, and I'm afraid to say, separatists who are self-proclaimed are coming into the Congress party with red carpets thrown for them to come in. Separatists who were the ones who caused permanent and perpetual problem there. Now post 2019, we are at least being able to develop the state even as we are containing terrorism. Whereas now, like earlier, terrorists are being, self-proclaimed terrorists are also being welcomed in the Congress party, sir. Sir, therefore,
Not yielding. She is not yielding. Mr. Randeep Surjewala, she is not yielding. Okay, go ahead.
Sir,
Please,
threat to
let's not have this
cooperative
practice.
federalism.
This side also, please.
Threat to cooperative federalism is a topic on which there's been a lot of discussion based only on the fact that the budget speech mentioned only 2 states and it did not mention other states. Yesterday in the Lok Sabha too, I addressed this matter, sir. I wanted to highlight the fact that total resources allocated to transfer to the states in BE 24-25 is 22,91,182 crores. And that's an increase of 4,93,645 crores over the last year. So transfer to the states are going unhindered as per the recommendation of the Finance Commission. And I'll further elaborate that when I come to some of the members who have raised questions in particular on that topic. So, sir, in this respect, again, the threat to cooperative federalism issue has been raised by several honorable members, inclusive of former Finance Minister Chidambaram, Jawahar Sarkar, N.R. Elango, Shri Honorable Member Shanmugam, C.V. Shanmugam, and also Muhammad Abdullah. So there are many members who have raised this. And on that, sir, if the inference is that I've spoken about only 2 states and left the others out, it means monies are not even going to those states, is an immediate propaganda after the budget was presented in the House, which was taken up in a big way by the India Alliance. It can't be India Alliance here. India Alliance, or say I.N.D.I.A. India Alliance. Sir, therefore, what is the last A for? How can it be India Alliance?
Mr.
India
Chidambaram.
Alliance.
Mr. Chidambaram, not while sitting.
Sir.
Please, you are a very senior member. Please, and maintain order. She is not yielding.
Sir, if only 2 states were named and others were not, I just want to highlight what happened in the earlier budgets, which were presented by Congress-led UPA. Sir, in the interim budget of 2009-10, only Bihar and Uttar Pradesh were mentioned. All right, they came back to power in 2009-10. Did they increase it? Yes, they increased it. To how many? To 8. Rest 20 states were not even mentioned. Are they clearly going to have to admit now that they did not send any money to 20 states because they didn't mention it in the speech? So I went back to reading every one of them, sir. 2004-5, only 11 states were mentioned, 17 were not. 10 were mentioned in the next one, 18 were not. So like that, I can go on saying, does that mean during their time, for those states which they did not mention, they didn't send anything to their other states? No, even that wasn't true. They sent money to all states, but only chose to speak about some states. If that is true for them, but it can't be true for me, is it? Protest outside the parliament, say, oh, other states are being ignored. What a deliberate attempt to mislead people. And I condemn that. Sir, so I'll just highlight this point, sir. On agriculture allocations. Agriculture allocation has come down, was the allegation and also a statement made. Several members have spoken on that. Shri Randeep Surjewala ji, Raghav Chadda ji, Rajni Patel ji, Sanjay Yadav ji, and Manoj Kumar Jha ji. I want to highlight, sir, that the budget allocation in 2013-14 for agriculture and farmers' welfare was only 21,934 crores, whereas 24-25, it has increased to 1.23 lakh crores, over 5.5 times in a decade. PM Kisan, sir, about which I'll also mention a bit later, more than 3.24 lakh crores has been disbursed to over 11 crore farmers. The institutional credit as a target for agriculture has increased more than 2.5 times since 2014-15, from 8 lakh crores to 20 lakh crores. Interest subsidy, which are given to farmers through Kisan Credit Card, has increased 2.4 times. Has increased 2.4 times since 2014-15, from 6,000 crores to 14,252 crores. KCC now covers animal husbandry and fisheries also. Small and marginal farmers, the number of accounts which are open for them and they avail agricultural loan has grown from 57% in 2014-15 to 76% in 23-24. Sir, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana was launched in 2016 to provide crop insurance coverage to farmers, and more than 1.5 lakh crores has been dispersed till today to the farmers. Agri-Infra Fund, sir, was launched under Atmanirbhar Bharat package to address existing infrastructure gaps and mobilize investments. More than 35,200 crores have been sanctioned for 48,000 projects under the Agri-Infra Fund. So the money collected, although as a cess, much against the allegation which is levied on us, saying cess money you retain. No, it is getting spent for, here in this case, for agriculture infrastructure creation. More than 23 crore soil health cards have been distributed to farmers, which provides farmers with the nutrient status of their soil and its composition. 1.8 crore farmers and 2.53 lakh traders have been registered on the eNAM portal, which is a national agriculture marketing place. In the last 10 years, more than 11 lakh crore have been spent to provide fertilizers to farmers at affordable prices. Government has also formulated agricultural export policy in 2018 in the country for the first time. This has led to agricultural exports reaching up to 4 lakh crores of rupees. A separate Department of Fisheries has been set up in 2019 and assisting farmers with schemes worth more than 38,000 crores, which have been implemented in the fisheries sector, due to which fish production has increased from 95 lakh metric tons to 175 lakh metric tons, almost double in the last 10 years. Sir, this is where this insurance-related point which I said earlier, I have to repeat. In its 2004 election manifesto, the Congress party promised to implement a comprehensive crop insurance scheme. However, it was not till the NDA, which came to power under Prime Minister Modi, Fasal Bima Yojana was implemented. They could have done it during their time, but no, it waited for a manifesto. But that was 2004 manifesto, and they had 10 years after that. They did not do anything on that. The Congress said it would examine the feasibility of direct income support to farmers. However, it was not till 2019 when Prime Minister Modi gave PM Kisan Samman Nidhi. They state things in their manifesto. It lies in the manifesto. No, they don't implement when they come to power. The failure of their flagship scheme, which is the loan waiver scheme of 2008, has been, I've mentioned this several times. I'm not taking the time of the August House, but the the loan waiver scheme was not even fully implemented. In fact, many of the farmers were not given certificate that they've cleared their dues and everything, so that after that they can go and procure the loan from the banks, because without the certificates, bank wouldn't give. 38% farmers hadn't been given the certificate, and they are sitting, loan waiver gaya, loan nahi mila abhi. That is the halat, that is the careless and laid back fashion with which a sensitive subject like loan waiver had been handled by Congress party. Sir, on health and education, Honorable Member Sanjeev Arora, Sujit Kumar, and also Sagarika Ghosh had raised question. National health policy of NDA targeted only 2.5% of the GDP on health sector. So total allocation under health increased from 88,000 in 23-24 to 89,000 crores in 24, 89,287 crores in 24-25. PM Swasth Suraksha Yojana, under that 15 new All India Institutes of Medical Sciences have been approved, of which 9 projects have been completed starting from 2014. In 10 years, 9 new All India Institute of Medical Sciences have been completed, whilst total of 15 have been given sanction. Similarly, sir, 17 government medical college institutes have been approved, of which 10 projects have been completed. So attention given to health in different forms is what I want to lay before you for the consideration of the House. Sir, PM Jan Arogya Yojana, 34.28 crore Ayushman Bharat cards were issued, 94,225 crores have been authorized for hospital admissions. So the out-of-pocket expense of patients are all being brought down because of the various measures which have been taken out. Under Mission Indradhanush, cumulative total number of children vaccinated is 5.42 crores. Cumulative total number of pregnant women vaccinated is 1.31 crores. So the Pradhan Mantri National Dialysis Program, sir, has been implemented in 748 districts at 1,485 centers, and it deploys 10,077 hemodialysis machines. A total of 23.33 lakh patients have availed of this facility of dialysis. 2.7 crore hemodialysis sessions have been held as of 30th April 2024. $10,000 PM Jan Aushadhi Kendras have been opened, and they provide 30 to 80% cheaper medicines, and medical equipments are also being made available, sir. Sir, on unemployment, several members have spoken. Randeep Surjewala ji, Raghav Chadda, Sanjay Yadav ji, P. Chidambaram ji, Jawahar Sirkar ji, Surjit Kumar, and also Sagarika Ghosh ji. Sir, first of all, I'd like to present before you that our policy is to make youth competent, saksham. For that, we also have brought in this time a package of 5 schemes providing employment in 3, and 1 for skilling and 1 for internship. This package, we hope, together with also 48 crore mudra loans worth 25 lakh crore which have been dispersed, where now we want to increase the 10 lakh limit to 20 lakh. All these put together, we expect there will be a big difference in terms of skilling and internship and for job creation. But the UPA era jobless growth is something which we cannot forget. It hurt India's youth the most because RBI's CLEMS data showed that the total employment declined from 47.2 crores in 2012-13 to 47 crore in 2013-14. And the only period of decline, that remains to be the only period of decline recorded since 1981-82. So when it is declined there, to recover from that, even during the period, not much was done. Formal employment also was badly hit during UPA, especially in the formal manufacturing sector. The annual survey of industries, which is issued by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, showed a sharper percentage decline than ever seen during the worst of COVID pandemic. So even during COVID pandemic, that is not the kind of decline we saw as was seen during UPA's time. So, sir, on the employment, our facts which are given by the PLFS, Periodic Labor Force Survey, shows that the labor market indicators for persons of age 15 years and above have steadily improved from 17-18 to 22-23. Labor force participation has also increased from 49.8% in 17-18 to 57.9% in 22-23. Women's labor force participation has risen to 37% in 22-23 from 23.3% in 17-18. The unemployment rate has declined from 6% in 2017-18 to a low of 3.2% in 22-23. Youth unemployment, that is the age between 15 to 29, has declined sharply from 17.8% in 17-18 to 10% in 22-23. Sir, this is the annual periodic labor force survey report which is given this. And further to reinforce the fact, the SBI research report July 2024, India created 12.5 crore jobs during 14 to 23 compared to 2.9 crores created between 2004 and 14. So the distinct increase in the jobs created during the 10 years under Prime Minister Modi's leadership has to be highlighted, sir. In the last decade, the employability of Indian youth has increased sharply, rising from less than 34% in 2014 to over 51% in 2024. And we'll further improve it through the PM's package on employment and skilling. So inflation. There's been a lot of discussion on that, sir. I'd like to give the data and also differentiate between the inflation which was present during UPA and our approach towards dealing with inflation now, so that we can see how inflation has been handled both under the UPA and the NDA. So we saw double-digit high inflation period under the UPA because of the policies which were reckless and inappropriate policies were taken on one hand and inept measures to control inflation on the other. Domestic inflation. So this is a very important statement, sir. Domestic inflation used to be higher than the global average. That is very significant to be noticed. Post the global financial crisis of 2008, UPA government took stimulus measures to boost the economy. The problem arose, and I'm sorry I have to say this, when economists who are repeatedly quoted to us saying, reputed economists, you're not that, when leaders of that stature did not know when and how to withdraw the stimulus which was brought in after the global financial crisis, did not know when to and how to withdraw the stimulus, leading to a high double-digit inflation between 2009 and 13, high fiscal deficit as a result, and debt as a result, crowding out private investment. Sir, between January 2012 and April 2014, retail inflation was more than 9% in 22 out of the 28 months. So let's understand the gravity of this inflation, which we have noticed during that time. No supply side measures were effectively taken in those days, and as a result, relief, even partial relief, was not available for the consumers. UP inherited a very stable macroeconomic environment. Atalji, when his term was over in 2004, had left behind a very strong Indian economy. Inflation was only at 3.8% from 99 to 2000 and to 2003-04. Comparatively, average annual inflation rose to 8.1% between 2004-05 and 2013-14. Where is 3.8% and where is 8.1%, sir? That's their record on inflation handling. High fiscal deficit, decreased prioritization of capital expenditure, and that contributed to sustained high inflation, averaging double digits. For example, sir, India's inflation averaged at 10.1% January to April 2013, compared to the average of 3.9% across all the emerging markets. If emerging markets are countries where we can compare ourselves, they were only at 3.9%, whereas you had UPA keeping our inflation at 10.1%. So whereas, to contrast this with our period, over the last decade, sir, India's average inflation was only 5.1%, lower than the 5.8% average among the emerging economies. So we are close to it and even lesser than the average of the emerging economies' inflation. That is the difference between UPA's handling of inflation and India's handling of inflation. Sir, Congress means mehengai is something the common man knows as well, because the common man's slogan used to be and continues to be Congress aayi, mehengai lai. This has been the parlance of the normal people. So, Congress matlab mehengai. Sir, I want to.
Sir, okay, sir. Please, sir. Honorable Finance Minister. Honorable Finance Minister, please. Sir, sir. Sir, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, sir. 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 No, no, sir. Sir, please. She is not yielding, sir. See, no yielding.
Okay, I'll leave.
Sir, see, no yielding.
Okay, I'll sit, sir.
Sir. Yielded. Okay.
रख के क्या करना चाहिए?
ठीक है. Yes. रुकिए. I hope, sir, there will be peace, calm, and camaraderie in the house, sir.
माननीय सभापति जी, अभी जो एलओपी ने विषय उठाया कि आप अपनी बात करिए और कांग्रेस के जमाने की बात ना करिए, ये जब भी बजट की चर्चा होती है तो वो हमेशा कंपैरेटिव टर्म्स में होती है, हमेशा हमको बताना पड़ता है.
Please. No. You had all the right to say so. नहीं, what is it, Nasir? You had all the right to, please, no, I don't appreciate it. Sorry, I don't appreciate. No, don't appreciate. What is this? Forget about it. Nothing is going on record. Why are you saying so, sir?
राज्यसभा में आने वाले लोगों के बारे में भी कांग्रेस पार्टी को सोचना चाहिए कि इस हाउस में चर्चा की गरिमा और चर्चा को कैसे आगे बढ़ाना है. मैं यहाँ पर सिर्फ माननीय वित्त मंत्री श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमन जी जो बात कह रही थी उनके पक्ष में हाउस को ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि बजट रिलेटिव और कंपैरेटिव टर्म्स में बताया जाता है. हमें अगर विकास बताना है तो हमको बताना है कि अब कहाँ से चले और कहाँ पहुंचे. हमको यह भी बताना होता है कि हम किस गति से चले, और हमको यह भी बताना पड़ता है कि हमने एक लॉन्ग लीप ली है, एक लंबी छलांग ली है, और जब हम ये लंबी छलांग लेने की बात करते हैं तो हम अंधकार से उजाले की ओर जाते हैं. और उसका पर्यायवाची जब हम ढूंढेंगे तो 2014 के पहले अंधकार दिखता है और 2014 के बाद उजाला दिखता है.
Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Minister, no, nothing will go on record. No, not yours. I'm asking another minister. Please take your seat. Only Finance Minister will address, please. No, I can't open the debate. The debate is over, please, no, sir. Only Honorable Finance Minister will speak. We have to maintain some decorum in the house, and I'm glad we are improving a lot. Please.
Thank you very much, Chairman, sir. Sir, I do take what the Honorable Leader of the Opposition has suggested. What we do today is what I'm highlighting, and therefore also saying something similar of this kind didn't happen then. He may refute it, but it is a matter of fact, and I'm grateful for the intervention of the Leader of the House to state it in his nice Hindi, which I can't speak as well, to say what exactly it was. Getting out of Andhakar to go into Acha Roshni Wala, and that's what is happening now. So,
Honorable Finance Minister, but your Hindi is not bad.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir.
Please.
Sir.
Please. Honorable Finance Minister, please.
Sir, it is not just me who's talking about what had not happened then, and it's not just me who's talking about what kind of things had happened then. I'm saying what not happened then and what kinds of things happened then, based on eminent people and their words. Take, for example, what one former governor of Reserve Bank had to say. And I'm quoting, I'm not taking his name. I don't know if it is permitted, because I think people who are not members of this house, you should not name and so on. So I will just say former governor of Reserve Bank. In his book, he says, sir, and I quote, "The finance ministry used to pressurize the RBI to soften interest rates and present a rosier picture of the growth to shore up sentiments. You were not able to perform in the economy, managing the inflation, giving stimulus to growth, and leading the country to have better growth, but you're asking the RBI to give a rosy picture so that the sentiments don't get affected, because that sentiment and the kind of impact it was having on the economy is where we went to being fragile 5. And fragile 5 economy is a fact which was before them, but they couldn't act on it. Instead, they put pressure on Reserve Bank. So what you need to do constructively, you don't do. On the contrary, you do such things. And I'm not saying it. Reputed, respected, former bureaucrat who was also the governor of Reserve Bank has written it. So I want to just highlight, sir, whereas what kind of efforts we have made to keep inflation under control is something which I want to say now for members who have been very keen to know what is happening today. I'm telling you what's happening today. Please make a note of it. Sir, we implemented measures. So we implemented measures leading to a reduced average inflation of 4.5% in 14-15 to 2018-19, well within the RBI's target range of 2 to 6%. So moreover, India's inflation during 2020 and 23 was much lower than the global average. So I want to highlight why it was so. Because competent and proactive measures were undertaken by the government to control inflation, and we managed to contain inflation at 5.7% from 2019-20 to 23-24, despite challenges which were unforeseen, and the size and the magnitude of COVID was something which all over the world, even today, has tarnished the economies, and they are not able to come out of it, whereas we have managed to be closer to the tolerance band given by RBI. Many countries faced 3 or 4 decade high double-digit inflation after the COVID pandemic. So I just want to list out the 5-year terms and the inflation rates which have prevailed. These are numbers which are already in public domain, but it's useful for us to compare so that we know what are policy-induced internal factors which drove UPA's inflation as different from NDA's inflation, which is largely driven by a pandemic and because of the global disruptions. So the difference between the inflation then and the inflation now are very clearly before us. NDA's period, sir, 5 years between 99 and 2004, retail inflation was only 3.8%. UPA 1, 5 years, it was 6%. UPA 2, 10.2%. So if you were to take 10 years of UPA 1 and 2, it was 8%, 8.1%. NDA 1, sir, between 14 to 19, 4.5%. NDA 2, 5.7%, sir. NDA 1 and 2 put together, 10 years, 5.1% inflation. Where is 5.1 and where is 8.1, sir, of the 10 years then, 10 years now? So we need to understand that even when very important steps were taken, like cutting down on the excise duty of petrol and diesel by the Honorable Prime Minister, twice, once in November and once in June of 23, November of 22, every state tried to reduce. But for political scoring of a point, Congress-ruled states did not. And even then and now, the inflation in those states, even if the change of government has happened, continues to be higher, and efforts to contain them is even being taken now also. They just didn't want to cut down. On the contrary, if I remember correct, our president and the leader of the house here is from Himachal Pradesh. The first thing the government did there after being elected was to increase the price of petrol and diesel. Now, the cry for inflation in this house questions on what action you're taking to contain inflation, Congress government in Himachal Pradesh, a small state, increases the price. And here the lecture is about contain the prices, bring it down. Congress can do that. So was the effort, so was it in Karnataka. So in inflation and containment measures may be questions on us, and we are willing to answer. But what about those states which are being governed by Congress? The steps that we've taken, the steps that we have taken to control inflation, sir, strategic policies for targeting inflation have been taken. PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana is to make sure that people get the bottommost layer, poorest people get their grains at least, so that they can have some kind of assurance that they have something to feed their family with. Government continuously offloads wheat and rice from the central pool under the open market sales scheme to increase availability in the market. Steps that we are taking. To prevent hoarding and unscrupulous speculation, traders and wholesalers, big chain retailers, and processors were required to disclose their stock positions of wheat and rice. We follow them, we pursue with them, and then ensure that the stocks are coming into the market. Under the price stabilization fund, sir, a dynamic buffer stock of pulses is maintained, and calibrated release of stocks contain the price, and we keep procuring to increase the buffer stock. Basic duty on crude palm oil, crude soya bean oil, and crude sunflower oil was cut from 2.5% to nil, so that crude oil can come into India, edible crude oil, and that can be refined, creating jobs, at the same time making edible oil available in the country. The agri cess on oils was reduced from 20% to 5%. So we are reducing the revenues that we are earning, but making sure people get affordable price commodities which are important. On January 15th, 2024, this duty structure has been extended to 31st March 2025. So edible oil can be distributed with affordable prices. We have also taken measures to make sure basic items like atta, rice, chana dal, and moong dal are distributed in the Bharat Atta, Bharat Rice, and Bharat Chana Dal and Moong Dal branded, so that they can be sold at affordable prices. Per kg cost of atta is 27 rupees 50 paise. Per kg rice is 27.50. Chana is 60 rupees a kg. And Bharat Moong Dal is at 107 a kg, 93 for Sabut Moong Dal. These are being sold. 7 lakh tons have been sold of atta, 13.98 lakh tons of rice, 11.52 lakh tons of chana dal, and 2,984.37 tons of moong dal, both put together, Sabat and Dula, are sold, which means people are benefiting from the wholesale distribution, which is under the brand Bharat. So therefore, sir, I want to make sure that the efforts taken by this government to contain inflation are informed to the honorable members, and they know that we are taking the necessary steps. Quickly on Poshan Abhiyan, sir, and Saksham Anganwadi, the question which Sujit Kumarji from BJD had raised. Poshan and Saksham Anganwadi allocations have only increased and not come down. 20,554 crores in 23-24 to 21,200 crores in 24-25. On per capita income also, say RJD Sanjay Yadav ji has questioned. Sir, per capita income at constant prices grew at an average rate of 4% during 2012-13 to 2013-14. In all subsequent to those 2 years, except in 2019-20 and 2021, which were the pandemic years, the growth in per capita income at constant prices was higher than 2012-13 and 13-14. I can just read it out at constant prices, sir. 12-13 is 3.3, 13-14 is 4.6, and so on. except when in 2021 it was minus 8.9. It has recovered to be 5.7 now. So